Will the Diamondbacks trade him? Of course they will. Four teams interested: Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, Mariners. Would he go back to the Mariners? All the speculation, reckless journalistic speculation. It is true as a front office that we think about it. We look at it. We're looking at all the tweets and we were looking at all the reports and the highlights and who's talking about what. We had people monitoring game broadcasts to see whether or not the GMs would do any interviews on the game broadcasts in the days leading up to the deadline, just trying to get all the information you can. And then when social media really became a thing, you can focus on social media. Hey, get in here to the baseball interns. Monitor the Mariners' social media account. See what's shaking. Articles coming out left, right, and center. Who's buying? Who's selling? Who's doing both? The Diamondbacks are out of the playoff race. You heard it on Nothing Personal. Come here for some fact bombing. The facts are that the Diamondbacks are doing exactly what they should do, and they shouldn't be done. They still have, after having traded Naylor to the Mariners, after having traded Suarez to the Mariners, now they've got to think about Kelly and Gallen. People in Seattle are loving life. Jerry Dipoto sitting at the Hall of Fame induction of Ichiro like Cashman, working the phone, figuring out how much money can he get from ownership, figuring out whether it makes sense to bring Suarez home in a way that reunions can often not work, where you feel like you're trying to recapture the glory of past days. You do recall that Suarez was a Mariner. Wait a minute. You recall that Suarez was traded from the Mariners to the Diamondbacks. You do recall that the Mariners needed to dump Suarez and the Diamondbacks took on the money. It's the best thing about baseball. It's the best thing about all sports, even sports with a cap, without a cap. There's teams going two different directions at all times. Some are going up, some are going down. Diamondbacks down, Mariners up. The conversation that Jerry Dipoto of the Mariners has with his ownership, John Stanton, the very generous John Stanton, who was very inclusive of all of the people and hosted a great dinner party for Ichiro in Cooperstown with a wonderful tribute video and giveaways. It was really quite something, the private party that the Mariners did for Ichiro to honor him. But when you're asking your owner to take on almost $5 million, that is not an insignificant amount. There are very few teams that budget to take on $5 million at the deadline. You can budget money in advance to take on money at the deadline. You can budget in advance that you have to shed money at the deadline no matter what the team is doing. It happens. But $5 million is a big number to take on. When people will ask and analyze today, and you'll look at trade grades, Mariners, C, Diamondbacks, D, A, B, everyone wants a trade deadline breakdown. Everyone's talking about the prospects. Well, the prospects that the Diamondbacks got from the Mariners, that seems like a low haul. 3 for 1, nobody in the top 10, top 100. It's 4 people in the top 300. Let me tell you that the money part of it is looked at. The control part of it is looked at before the prospect part is looked at. When we're doing trades, we put it all together and look at everything in totality. But the way it breaks down and how the discussion goes, it starts with how much money are we taking on? How much money are we saving? That is the first part of the trade talk. Second, is this a rental? As an example, Suarez, total rental. We'll get to what the Twins did in trading Duran to the Phillies as part of the arms race with the Mets and explain why Duran, who has more years of control, not a rental, you've got to give more money, control, prospects. Once you understand the money, once you understand the control, then you can talk about the value of the prospects. And the irony, of course, is that the value of the prospects is TBD, no matter what. Whether it's the number four and the number 12 prospect in their system. MLB.com's number 16 and number 69 prospect. Baseball America's 2 in the top 100. When we're sitting doing the trades, when every GM is sitting doing the trades, please remember, it never comes up where the prospects are ranked. Ever. Suarez back to the Mariners is interesting to me. Love the fact that it was at 9 o'clock Pacific time. Love the fact that the Mariners are helping on the offensive side. And don't be the Mariners fan. And I know you're out there listening. Don't be that person, please. Where was this a year ago? Where was this 2 years ago when we had the best rotation last year and there was not enough offense and we didn't do enough adding? Don't be the negative Nelly. Look at what your team has done for you at this moment and enjoy August, September. Will the Mariners be able, who are now tied for the last wild card with the Texas Rangers, will they be able to catch Houston? Possibly. Will they be able to hold off Texas? Unlikely. Will they be able to go to the playoffs with Texas? Very possibly. Can Cal Raleigh stay hot? Has he cooled off? Has the home run derby done something to these players? No. Have there been fewer home runs? Yes. Is that normal? Of course. No one sits on a pace. There's a reason 62 is the record. I loved what Cal Raleigh said about the Mariners front office. It's like a dream for your player to say it. This is what we talked about in spring training when I was looking to sign here long term. And these were the things we talked about, these moments. It makes you feel good about those guys following through. Horse hockey. I love you, Cal. I really do. I mean, I don't love you. I like you. I like you greatly. But during the course of a long-term deal, I can assure you, you're going to be a buyer. You're going to be a seller. You'll be both. It doesn't change what you should feel about the front office. The front office needs to decide whether buying or selling makes sense. And side note, every time the player talks about, well, I'd like to understand whether or not you're going to be able to field a competitive team around me, whether or not you're going to be all in, an expression I despise, when it's time to be. Now I'll consider signing with you long term if you pay me exactly what I asked you to start with, regardless of what the answers were to the questions I asked. Suarez is going home. It's outstanding. Good for Seattle.